Well, thanks everyone for joining the exhibitor meeting. As you just heard, this is being recorded, so we'll go ahead and send you the recording and the deck from this afterwards. It takes Zoom a little bit for that to be processed, so it should be later on this afternoon, if not first thing tomorrow morning. So we're excited you're here. We're going to go ahead and get started here for our meeting. And you've got our hosts. First, we've got one of our board members, Ted Power, who's a PIP. Like the most of you, we've got him here so he could share some of his insights on how he works the show. He's been doing that for over a decade. You got myself. You've got Nadia, who's going to be handling the venue, and we've got Nanette, who's going to be talking about some of the cool marketing tricks. She always pulls some new stuff out for every conference, and this one's no exception. So here's our agenda today. We're going to talk about what's new. We'll talk about the venue, kind of a conference at a glance. We'll look at some of those marketing tools that I just alluded to. And then we'll talk about the exhibitor experience, the learning labs and the tech demos, which are going to be located in the exhibit hall again. Do's and don'ts, we'll get some of those tips from Ted, but we have some already written up as well. Registering for the conference, we hope you've already registered for the conference. If not, no worries. We'll get you taken care of. Freeman and lead scamming, some of our services, including Encore, that you can get for your booth. And then we will go through a little tour. Kami's actually going to take us for a tour of the exhibitor portal. If you haven't done so, I strongly recommend that you get in there. We do a lot of our communication through the portal. We do a lot of our tasks through the portal. We keep track of different things. For instance, you'll need to acknowledge the receipt of our attendee list and that you won't use it and spam it. We go and get that uploaded into the portal. So you won't get that list until you fill that out. And I think Kami will do a good job aiming you in the right direction shortly here. We'll talk about some upcoming tasks in that portal. And then, like I said, we'll have the tour. Then we'll finish things up with some questions. So what's new? We have themed exhibit hall experience. Every year we do a different theme for the conference, but we're kind of carrying that over into the exhibit hall this year, kind of a Florida vibe. So you'll see some of the available reception options for Monday have kind of a Florida vibe to them. With you can see the way this deck is even set a little bit. We're going to be take the charity event and we're going to put it back into the exhibit hall on Tuesday. That I think is going to be exciting because we'll keep our attendees in the hall. We've got an open evening for entertainment on Tuesday, so we're going to bring everyone into the hall, have that, and we're going to close the hall a little early. And the reason for that is we had a communication that went out. We're encouraging everyone to either get together with your teams or to entertain on Tuesday night. We have purposely backed off on Tuesday to make that your night. So go for it. We had sent out contacts for the hotel. We have some folks that have already booked some rooms. There's still other rooms available. If you don't have that top of mind, reach out after this or join us in our open office hour after this, and we'll get you that information. Super sessions on Thursday. Super sessions are larger workshops. They're going to be longer than it's more of a deep dive. So instead of 60 or 90 minutes, these will be 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. And we'll have multiple super sessions going at the same time. If you'll remember, we had last couple of years, we've done deep dives on AI, both a hands-on and then a deeper dive on AI. We're taking a different approach. Now, that's not to say these super sessions won't have AI, because as you know, the way things are going, I'm sure that there'll be some AI in those presentations, but something a little different, a little deeper dive. AGXPE workshop track in awards category. GXP has been part of our L10 family for quite a while, and we are now going to have some exhibitors, and we're going to have some content, and we're really excited about partnering with the AGXPE, and hopefully we're going to yield some great attendance with our GXP folks. Backed by popular demand with Spotlight Social and Awards Gala.
Announcements.
We're expanding on both of those.
Mhm.
The Spotlight Social is going to be a full hour beforehand. and then the awards gala. We've expanded the capacity there. There will be a fee. I think that fee is going to be around $75. We haven't firmed it up yet. There will be opportunities for you to buy tables. We have included a full table for the sponsorships. So lots of evolving there. The themed opening reception on Monday, I touched upon that, I think a little bit already. We're going with the Florida Fine. You'll see that um, uh, the drinks and everything's going to have not just Orlando, but a full Florida vibe. And then we've got the walking tours as well, which by the way, there's a sponsorship for that. Just FYI. And now we'll go with the conference at a glance, and I'll turn it over to Nadia to talk about the venue.
Thank you so much, Greg. So as most of you know already, we are back at the Gaylord Palms in Orlando, Florida. The most of you have booked your rooms already. If you're a PIP or an exhibitor, you are able to jump in and book a bulk of rooms. We ask that you register your team simultaneously to booking the rooms. We know that a lot of you don't know exactly like who's coming at this time. And if that's the case, that's fine. You can still book rooms, but we just ask that you don't take more than you need, because what we don't want to happen is everyone booking a lot of rooms up front and then releasing them later, so that the inventory dwindles early, and then all of a sudden there's a flush of rooms going back into inventory later. So just keep that in mind for when you're booking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rooms. Just to make sure that you're really booking like what you need. And if you need help, you should be able to switch dates and names on the room reservations up until May 20th, and then that's when the rooms will be transferred over to the hotel side. So after May 20th, you would have to work with the Gaylord directly on any changes. But up until then, we have the data on our side, so we can easily manage it on our end. And if you have any questions about rooms, please email me directly. I'm happy to assist. Um, as far as the conference timeline, obviously registration is live. The hotel link is, open, and it's getting filled quickly. But there are still rooms for, for all of you to come in Sunday and then, leave Wednesday, or of course Thursday if you're staying for super sessions, which we encourage you all to stay. The call for awards, the deadline just passed, and the judging is open, so that's underway, which is exciting. The call for workshops is open, of course, and the deadline is Friday. I believe we are looking to extend that deadline. So if you all have, workshops, or your colleagues have workshops that you'd like to submit, please, get those in as soon as possible. If you have questions on submitting for a workshop or a sponsored workshop, please jump on, the open office hours with me and Greg. We can certainly walk through that process with you. Awards announcement week will be April 13th to the 17th, and that's when we'll be opening the ticket purchases for the gala. And then the full agenda with workshops will be released by May 6th. As far as agenda shifts, as Greg mentioned, we have the Focus Charity event on Tuesday that will be hosted in the exhibit hall instead of in a big ballroom like normal. Tuesday evening, as he mentioned, we left open for hosted events. So if you're attending one or hosting one, or if you have questions on how to host one, please let me or Greg know. The start times for learning labs and tech demos, we shifted those back a little bit after lunch starts, to allow, for that transition time for people to walk from the workshop space, move down to the exhibit hall, get their lunch, and then, go into those learning opportunities, just so people can get their food first and everything isn't kicking off right at the same time. And then we did adjust the break times from last year. So we will have a longer 45-minute break in the exhibit hall in the morning to allow for that longer networking time. And then in the afternoon, we shortened the break to, I believe it's 15 minutes, just because where the workshops are and the exhibit hall, it is a longer space. So instead of people going in the afternoon from the workshop all the way to the hall and back to the workshop space, we will just host the break in the workshop foyer, just because it makes more sense for people not to, just be jetting back and forth. So we will have that longer AM break and a longer lunch to allow for that time in the hall with you all. The Wednesday keynote, we moved that back to the AM, so we will have, more time in between the hall closing and the spotlight social starting, just so people can change, get ready for the gala, get ready for the poster sessions. And then Greg mentioned the super sessions on Thursday instead of the one large general session program. And I'll pass it on to Nan.
It's quick. It was like no time at all. So we have a few tools I wanted to share with you. One thing should look pretty familiar. This is the promo toolkit that we rolled out last year. We've always had some version of a promo toolkit, but last year was the first year we tried having it be basically an all-in-one. We know that there's a lot of overlap between, you being a presenter or maybe a sponsor or exhibitor or some combination thereof. And so we've included things like banners, logos, promotional copy, our slides are there. And it's really meant to be kind of a grab and go uh, place where you can go and just kind of snag what you need. However, you know that at L10 we are here to support you guys. So if you find that your marketing team or marketing person of one or whoever's filling in as your communications person can reach out at any point to myself or Greg or Kami, and they'll probably kick them over to me, but we can get you other sizes, the native files, meaning all of the, bits and bobbles like the layers and stuff. So we hope that you guys do use this. This is, thank you for putting the link on here, team. But this is actually in your exhibitor dashboard, and so you'll always have access to it there. The next thing that I wanted to share, this is also a part of your toolkit. Last year, we rolled out this self-recording cloud-based tool called Gather Voices, and I think it was really successful, actually. So some of those posts that we put out with videos that, our attendees, our board members, our partners, and our awards recipients actually generated some of the most buzz, the most shares, the most likes, the most views, the most engagement. So we know that small or short form media is still, obviously, that's why TikTok blows up, right? And Instagram has its following. So we're trying to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to be able to share their L10 story. So as an exhibitor or sponsor, as a speaker, you guys have, an opportunity to kind of preview or showcase or add additional context to what you're doing. And then we do the heavy lift, basically. You do the recording, you show up, and then we take that recording and doll it up and post it out. You also, I believe at the very end of the recording, have an option to download that for yourself. So it's immediate gratification, I think. So I think we just promote the heck out of it. But if you have any questions or have any trouble, or want a tutorial, please do reach out. Again, happy to give any amount of time to support you guys in that. Lastly, or I guess not lastly, second to lastly, we have a new tool that we're using this year for our partner invites. Last year, we used a tool called Snowball. For those of you who were with us last year, you may remember that there was like an email that came out to you periodically with some links and some shareables. Oh, sorry. But this year, we're doing something similar, but with a different organization. Feather is mostly helps us with our remarketing, retargeting, and digital ad stuff. They're incredible. And so they've had this tool in their toolbox for a while now. And what it is basically is a dashboard that they create for you. And you have access to emails that have some lightly personalized content, banners, which again, lightly personalized for you, email that you can send directly through the system if you want. We don't get your contacts. Feather doesn't get your contacts. So at a safe location, but if you want, you can extract any of this and send it out through your own communication channels. So it's very, I think, versatile and flexible. And then the nice thing, oh, I don't know why it keeps going back. Sorry. The nice thing about that is that it, sorry, I got thrown off for a second there. The nice thing is that you'll be able to see metrics as well. Like if you send out things through the system to see kind of like your impact and overall, conversion or whatever from like the content you produce. So, and then we have some links to a how-to. If you have any technical issues, they're actually handling all of that for you. And then there's links to our promo kits and other tools that we're using with L10. So it kind of full circles it for you. And then the last thing, 2 weeks new is our new members only online community. And this is a really great opportunity and resource for you guys to also promote yourselves and kind of talk about yourselves. And I think in like a really organic way. So this is like any other forum except members only. An opportunity for people to ask questions and engage before the conference. And there are already questions out there that probably you guys know the answer to. Somebody was asking for AI tools. I know most of you are playing in the sandbox with some AI tools. So being a part of the discussion and kind of it's an easy lift, but also it's a great place to preview some of the things that you're doing. So again, this might be, you put out an article leading up to the conference, and maybe there's a tie-in with the workshop you're leading, or a thing that you're demonstrating, or a partnership you have. And so we really think that this is over time going to continue to grow. But I think getting in and kind of showing your thought leadership and your commitment and engagement in the community is really powerful. So it's another opportunity to again, maybe not quite promote, but jump into the discussions, make some posts, and be a supporter of the rest of the members. And I think that's it for me. So I'm going to turn this back over to you guys.
Thanks, Dan. No, that seems like a really cool tool. With this, we're going to start with the exhibitor experience. And with this, I'm going to turn it over to Ted, talk a little bit about the pre-planning and then planning for the conference.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Really excited about this year's conference. And, first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for participating this year. I see a lot of familiar faces on the call. So what I'm going to say is might be old hat a little bit, but I also see some new faces. So hopefully you can take away some insights from our experience. So just to give you a little context, and I apologize, I have a cold right now, so if my voice cuts out, that's you'll know why. But just for context, we've been part of L10 since the late 90s. We've gone through iterations with our companies, and every year we've exhibited at the annual conference. And we have gotten to the point where we actually build L10 into our corporate strategy. The conference is really a bread and butter event for us. And it's a big investment for us, as I'm sure it is for all of you. So really the goal is to maximize the return on investment for the event. And you really get back what you put into it, we've found over the years. So if you can bring a more structured or planful approach to the event, you're really going to maximize your opportunities there. And I'll touch on the slide in a little bit, but a couple things that we do. We start with our customers, actually, where we do personal outreach to our customers a couple months before the event. And we let them know we're going to be at L10. We let them know that we are going to have a booth in the exhibit hall. If we're doing a workshop, we'll let them know that. Tech demo, whatever you're doing. It's a great excuse to reach out to your customers and have a touch point with them. And then we ask them, are they going? And if they're not, I really recommend you suggesting that they do go. Promoting L10 really benefits you. Because if you can get all your customers and all your prospects in one spot, that's a great situation. But after we then reach out to them, we then try to get some meetings with them, whether it's at the booth, whether it's over coffee, lunch, or if you're going to have a dinner or some sort of an event. We then sort of go through our marketing channels. Nan just talked about these great tools that are available to you. We usually put out a lot of social posts. We send email marketing campaigns out as well. And then we also then target companies or people we want to do business with. So those prospects that you want to make sure that you connect with at the show. Greg talked about we will be talking about the exhibitor dashboard. That was the run through. And you'll see that that's a great way to organize your approach and the tasks that you need to kind of focus on. Develop a plan with your team. What we typically do with this is we actually create a playbook every year. It's a couple pages, and it of course, goes over the things like where people need to be when, et cetera. But we also talk about what's the messaging we want to bring to the conference. And, when it's busy, you may only get a couple minutes to talk to folks. So making sure that you're maximizing your messaging and the impact of your messaging. Even set KPIs, in terms of how many qualified leads you want to get. If you have a product that where you're going to demo it, how many demos do you want to do? Even then, how many targets that you were hoping to talk to, how many of those people did you get to talk to? So if you can have that, you can also have a bit of fun with your team as well, and have it as a competition. So 30 days out, a couple things, you'll get a pre-conference attendee list, so you'll know exactly who's going to the event. Greg did let me know that, even though you can't spam that list, you can have targeted outreach to that list, whether it's through the member directory or obviously through the event app. So you have the ability to reach out and connect with folks that way. And then obviously, as a big point, is bring your excitement. Come to the event pumped up and ready to go. Next slide, couple things. I think I talked about most of these, but obviously keeping your team focused, that playbook's going to help you with that. Using the app, that's really the lifeblood for us throughout the entire conference. I can't stress enough how much the lead scanning tool helps us every year, versus trying to write down people's names on the fly, but tapping into that lead scanner would be a great thing. Making sure that you have booth coverage. A lot of times I've seen booths, unfortunately, that have been empty when there have been people in the exhibit hall maybe wanting to talk to somebody. So making sure that you're blocking out your booth coverage appropriately. And again, people are engaged. And then after the conference, like any good sales approach, make sure that you're following up with your contacts, following up with your leads. We do an exercise where we rank them A, B, C lead, and that really helps us with our activity after the conference. And then last but not least, the app will be up post-conference so you can still connect with people that way.
Thanks so much, Ted. Much appreciated. With that app, I do want to put a comment that as a couple days go by and weeks go by for the conference, you want to migrate back over to email and phone as your primary communications. The app is a very good tool. It has a very focused and useful use just before and just after the conference. So here's our exhibit hall. I think everyone here knows that we were delayed a little bit because we were trying to make sure that we had a better experience than when we were in this hall 2 years ago because we had a capacity issue. We had chairs and tables making it difficult to get around, and our feedback and the surveys came back that could be improved, and that's what we worked on, and we negotiated with another group, and we secured the space next to us that we're converting to an eating area. So by pulling the tables out and in feeding everyone in that area, we're going to allow a room for the floor plan as you see that it's designed here. We will be adding tables and places for people that's both high boys and low boys throughout when we get done with our exhibit sales. Those will not be blocking the exhibits in front. This particular floor plan is color coded and by level. The 20 by 20 booths are our titaniums that are independent islands. The 20 by 20s that are touching another space are our platinums, and then gold would be 10 by 20, and so on. We get the silver, and then the aqua are the just 10 by 10 booths. The red is the exploration stations. We do have baked in here right now 4 learning labs and the tech demo. I think it was mentioned already by Nadia that we've backed off the start times on that and make sure that there's adequate time for our attendees to get there. So if you have the first session of the day, you won't be penalized by people being in transit. The unfortunate result of that is we're short a few of our slots. We have capacity to take care of everyone, but we want to make sure. So we're going to try to add a fifth learning lab in the eating area. If we do that, then I'm very confident we could take care of everyone that wants a learning lab. The process for the learning labs, if you're a titanium or platinum, it's baked into your package. If you're another PIP, you need to reach out, and there is a fee associated with that. For PIPs, it's $500, and if you're an exhibitor, it's $750. What you can do is go ahead and just ping myself or Kami, and we'll put you in the queue. What we do to assign the learning labs is we do a survey out with the available time slots, and we do that in order of PIPs, starting with our titaniums and work our way down. Work pretty slick. So here's what's in your learning lab. We've enlarged the screens both on the learning labs and the tech demos this year. I'm excited about that. You get the learning labs actually do not have a laptop. They do have a laptop. You bring your USB and plug it in right away in the microphone. Now the silent headsets we've used for years, we are outsourcing to another vendor to improve the quality. That's another thing that we heard through our surveys was the fact that the AV technology wasn't the best. We do like the silent headphone portion of that. We're keeping that. We're just going to go ahead and up the technology a little bit so everybody has a better experience. For the tech demos, we heard that the two screens didn't work as well as one big one, so we're going to give a even bigger screen to the tech demos. This will be in the exhibit hall, and it will be draped off as it was last year. But with the silent headphones, I think that'll help make it quieter and less people eavesdropping. And it is amazing to me how many people kind of look behind the curtain or trying to listen in on some of the conversations. But again, the tech demos, we do our best to keep the other suppliers out so that the person presenting can really give their best and know that their audience is made up of pharma, biotech, and medical device. Suitcasing policy, what we've done to protect your investment, we enforce this, meaning that if someone gets a regular pass for the conference and shows up and conducts business, we have the right to kick them out. Everyone under this category gets a letter from me prior to the conference explaining what our policy is and that we have our conference and all of our education because of the PIPs and the exhibitors that spend money at our conference. And then this is to help you. What the board approved this year was an increase to the price of the non-supporting suppliers for the registration. It went up $750. I've been mentioning this for 20 years. If you go to any other AHA, RSNA, any other clinical SNN, Astro, the primary market, or in our case, pharma medical device and biotech trainers, they should get the best rate because that's the whole reason we're here. That's the group that is the nucleus of the supplier and everything going around. So to have them pay a non-supporting supplier pay the same rate was ridiculous. PIPs, you get locked into the lowest rate available, and that does not expire. And then exhibitors, you get a discounted rate. So we try to take care of everyone that takes care of us. We will post, like I said, the suitcasing and then the exhibit rules and regulations were attached to the contract as a link. Kind of just explains that you don't want to go into someone's booth. If you ever have any questions about how to set your booth up, let me know. We follow standard IAE regulations so that if the first half of your booth of a inline booth needs to be below 4 feet so that people can see all the booths when you go back. The standard booth goes 8 feet, the back half of the booth. If there's any questions, let me know. Rigging is only for the 20 by 20 islands. And then we have for our platinums, the 20 by 20 peninsulas that back up to each other. We have a taller curtain there. and we have some rules that are relaxed so they can go a little higher and bigger. Registration, if you haven't done it already, please do so pretty quickly. We do ask that you register someone before you get access to the hotel. Nadia mentioned some of the changes to the hotel. That was all predicated on problems that we have getting our room block used up. And we've actually had pirates selling rooms to folks. So we in a defensive mechanism for our PIPs created your own block for you. So though those rooms were defended and we gave you all an opportunity to go ahead and book your rooms, we tried to make it easier so that you can go on and book without the, go ahead and book 7 or 8. But as Nadia mentioned, as we get closer to the conference, we really appreciate if you could pare that down in real time. So in other words, don't wait to the last minute to pull those people off because L10 is responsible for those rooms financially. So we don't want to go backwards here. So hopefully this is a benefit that most of you have taken advantage of. If not, by all means, that room block is still open. Freeman is again our exhibitor services provider. Um, they have already in the Freeman Quick Facts is in your exhibitor portal, and we'll harp on that exhibitor portal again and again because it is very important. For you to get in there. Your tasks are there, a lot of information, lead scanning, and we'll go through lots of things that are there. But the Freeman Quick Facts is there. That'll give you the shipping information, the ship when the setup time is at the hours of the exhibit hall, and then the breakdown. And Kami is going to show you later exactly where that is in your exhibitor portal, so you can click and download and print that out. The rigging again is only for 20 by 20 booths that are in the front, and then as I mentioned, here are the specifics of some of the expanded capabilities of those island booths that are back-to-back peninsulas. So the Freeman and Exhibitor Services. This is the move in, move out time. There'll be a front desk available for setup to tear down. If you have some staff that wants to help set up your booth, but that is not going to attend any of the functions or the exhibit hall when open, you can see the registration and they'll give you a setup badge, and the setup badge works for teardown as well. Um, Rigging is Encore, but again, that's only for our 20 by 20 island exhibitors. The shipping and setup services and the dashboard as well. Um, there are significant increases in pricing when you miss the deadlines. So look at Encore and look at Freeman. All those deadlines are spelled out in the portal. And here's the one right here, May 18th for Freeman. But that's put again into your exhibitor portal. Lead scanning, Ted mentioned that is something that was very beneficial. As a PIP, every PIP gets with an exhibit space gets a lead scanner and the complimentary baked into your package. It is a license that goes onto a device. So when you go in and download it, it can't be transferred. So if your admin goes and puts it on their device, that is the device that will be scanned. We don't have any way to undo that. So please be careful with that. What I always recommend, if you're going to have multiple people working your booth, and it's not convenient for you to spend $249 on another scanner or buy a bundle, to download that license on an iPad and have your team go ahead and use that out of your booth. And what you can do in advance is, you could set up and configure this with custom questions, and you could have that all set up so that a score, like I think Ted mentioned, he has a way of rating. Go ahead and make this as useful as possible, whether or not you use one or you do multiple. Here's an example. You could set up custom questions that are specific to your product, possibly. But by all means, flesh this out. The more, putting a little bit of time in advance, fleshing it out and getting the lead scanning set up correctly will definitely pay dividends at the conference. Now, what we're going to do right here is We're going to close this deck and we're going to let Kami share her screen, and she's going to take us for a little walk through the exhibitor portal.
Okay. Can I see the exhibitor portal? Okay.
Now we can.
Okay. So this is the portal. When you guys log in, this is what you're going to see. You're going to get to this overview screen. On this screen, you can see different details like your profile, your tasks that are available, your booth content once you load it in, your booth staff once you get them registered. When you use the app, I believe this is where your contact insights come in, where you can see who's been visiting, how many people have been visiting, what they've been clicking on. Over here on the left, you have your other menu. This is where you find your tasks. We don't have all of them up right now. These are just the ones that need to be taken care of sooner than later. Greg had mentioned the Freeman Quick Facts. That's under this task here, Review Freeman Kit. You go to View, and then you can download it right here. And then that will give you all the instructions that he mentioned. The one for Encore, if you need electrical or internet, that's also here. So you can view that one. You can download that one here. You'll see other tasks we'll put up when we get the one-time use agreement. That task will show up when if you have a learning lab, we'll put a reminder in here for you to upload your information or update it. All of that will be in here, and then you can mark things as complete when you get to them. Under the profile, you can put in all of the information here, description of your company. We should have your location in there already, but if it's not, you can add it, your contact information, all of your social media. You can put your logo and a banner. I think the banner, you can put a GIF file, so if you want something moving, you can put it in there. Under content, this is where you can add additional items. You can add a full video here, other files, and other links. Registration, this one's important. This one, you go here. This tells you how many registrations you have. Down here is how many people have already registered. Your team members that you registered will show up here. If you click on this arrow, this shows you all the passes you have available to use. And then to add your people, you can do it one of two ways. You can click here, find the pass that you want to give to your team member, copy this link and then email it to them, and then they can register themselves. If you want to register your team instead, hit that one, pick the pass. It'll take you to the registration site. Just be aware that when you do register multiple people, that you're going to have to clear the cache and restart your browser in between people, because the cache is what keeps all the information for your registrants. And then you can go to reports. You can print out reports of different things. Here's where you can report all the leads you've collected. And if you want to have any engagement on your app site, you can print out the reports here. And then Greg mentioned the lead capture. This will show you all the leads you've collected. Here's the questions where you can change the questions to whatever you want. Just hit edit, and then it'll bring up a little screen where you can edit the type of questions that are here. And then these are the settings. You can add your device here. And we'll have a task that tells you how exactly to start your lead collection license. And then these are different things that you are required people to fill out when you scan. I mean, when you scan their badge, these are the information that's going to come over. And then that is it. I will stop sharing.
Great.
And then Nadia can take.
Thanks so much, Kami.
Can I just put a quick plug in for not being a late bird? I know a lot of us wait till we get to the conference to download our apps or download the licenses, and we do have support where ready to support you guys on site when that happens and you're downloading it there and having trouble. But it's so much better if you guys download these things beforehand, identify the issues, we can help you. Otherwise there's many of you to a few of us, and this might even give you guys a chance to play around and see with the lead scanning. We usually give you guys some test QR codes so that you guys can kind of play around in the sandbox. So again, just, even if you could give yourselves a couple of days before the conference to do that, we can definitely help you with, troubleshooting, make sure you're ready when you need it.
Great point, Nan. And you also want to upload your photos. I mean, the photos are going to be populated into the app, and I find that very useful. So, if you get when you see the face of the person that you're looking to connect with, that is a nice refresher. So make sure you do that. And by the way, it goes both ways, so people could find you as well. Okay. We do still have some sponsorships available. Just kind of tell you what our policies are on sponsorships. We offer them a renewal to this person, the company that had it the previous year, so first right of refusal. And we have offered that out to all the receptions from last year. And we do have, if you click on this link, sponsorship page, that will take you to a list of sponsorships that are available, including Monday night themed drinks and food. We tried to put a heavier emphasis on food, as not to have it be too much of a boozy event, but I'll still have my booze, sorry. But there'll be some extra food in there too. The charger, we all thought this was a great one. We're emphasizing it here. Little portable kiosk charger that you could have either at a table in the lunchroom or by your booth. It's branded. It's pretty inexpensive. The inserts in the bag, we don't limit the number of inserts that go in the bag. If you want to put a flyer that could have your workshop time, your learning lab, your booth number, and your mission statement or capabilities or whatever you're touting, we have those available. Just let me know for 2,500. We do have a limited amount of logos that can go on the bag. Those sponsorships are $4,000 and include an insert. This is not new, the awards, but we've kind of upped it a little bit. We mentioned the awards gala has grown. Both the reception prior has expanded in time for those that aren't can't go to the gala but want to still participate. And we have all the posters out there. It's a nice mix and mingle. Prior, we expanded the time on that to an hour, and we also have expanded the seating on the gala. It is a plated dinner, so there is a cost involved with that. The first year we ate that with a limited capacity, which turned out to kind of be the finalists. This year we've expanded much beyond that. I think the target ticket price is $75. As a sponsor to the awards, not only do you get the branding all around, but you also get a table up front for your folks that you worked with, or whoever you want to invite. The price did go up on this sponsorship, though, $7,500, and we've got a couple of those left as well. If you ever have an idea, let me know. We can certainly turn that into a sponsorship. But we made a very conscious effort this year to create more budget-friendly opportunities for you to get people to your booth. We realize that not everyone can, spend $6,000 on martinis or exhibits or margaritas to put in front of their booth. So what we've done for Tuesday and Wednesday is we've came up with the idea of activation stations, and this is to help pull people into the hall. Where if you were with us last year, you saw that the receptions on a Monday night had a walk around sticker game where you visit different stations. We want to continue that theme and capacity allowing to Tuesday and Wednesday. So Nanette is a genius. She'll come up with a great idea that'll be fabulous. How we tie them all together with the Florida theme. So if you have some ideas, what's been done, the caricaturists, an AI photo games, or you can contract directly with the hotel for food and beverage. You can't bring your own chips or anything like that, but if you go through the hotel, Let us know what it is so we can keep track of it. We're trying to minimize the duplication just to make everyone aware of that. But we're also going to promote it. If you want to just do your thing, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to hop on our train, it's $500. We tried to keep the fee small. And with that, we're going to be doing app pushes and letting communications out to say what's going on the other days, not just on Monday night, but also Tuesday and Wednesday. Just to let you know, we're doing, we have an aura reader, a live poetry writing on a manual typewriter. No, Greg didn't pick these out. I didn't interview these people. This was done by the team. And tote bag printing and embossing luggage tags. So those are some of the things that we came up with for our booth. Some of those people I think are going to be moving around. The poetry person I think can move around with the manual typewriter. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but what we're trying to do here is have that same vibe from Monday and carry that over to the interaction for Tuesday and Wednesday, realizing that we've got a lot of stuff going on as well. We still got the food, we still got the learning labs and the tech demos that are in there. But we're open to ideas too. So with this, we'll evolve, I'm sure, to next year. But this is our new plan for this year. With that, we'll let you open up your microphones. We're a small enough group, I think, to handle it. If you have any specific questions, and by the way, we are open every Wednesday at 4 to 5 Eastern for open office hours. Nadia, Kami, and myself sit on all of those, and we are able to go ahead and answer your questions and actually make changes to registrations right on the spot. Right now, the workshops are due March 6th, and I don't have any information if that will be expanded or not. Generally, we do that by capacity. So, in other words, if we haven't reached the number we want, or if we were at a good number, we'll close it. See if there's any other questions in the notes that I missed.
There are some questions. It kind of runs the
Yeah,
gamut. One
yeah, I
from
see that. I see
about
the
the
one on
award.
the awards. Yes, you can buy the table in advance. The advantage to the exhibitor, the sponsors, is that they'll be up front, but absolutely you can block off a whole table. And I believe we're going to do half tables as well, so that you can kind of get the right size. We realize you may not need a whole table, you may need a little more than a table. We'll be able to accommodate that. These are going to be assigned seats. This is so there'll be numbers, kind of like a wedding, and the table will be assigned not the actual spot which within the table, though if we break a couple up, that may happen. But generally just the table itself. For any other questions
You've got a
here?
hand raised also, but we do
Okay.
have some more questions as well. Let me know what order you want to go in.
Okay. I'm not seeing the questions. Why don't you hit me with the questions, Dan?
Yes. So questions here. Oh my gosh, let me extend this screen so I can read this in full view.
Yeah.
One of the questions was how long are the workshops? I believe it's 60, Nadia, and 60 minutes and 75 minutes. Is that correct? So I think in the submission portal, there is an opportunity where I think maybe spell out or explain. Nadia, that might be best explained by you. That's not my
Yeah.
field.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
was
The
like
majority.
trying to unmute myself. Yeah, so the majority of the workshops will be 60 minutes and then there will be one slot that's 75 minutes. And then what was the other question?
I think that was the one for
Okay.
that. And Steve asked, how do we promote the activation stations, or how are we promoting L10, the activation stations, and what do participants receive that tell them to go to a specific booth? So, Greg, I don't know if you want me to give a little context, or if you'd like to jump in with
Go ahead if you have something fleshed out. Otherwise, I was going to relate back to last year, and we'll be doing something similar. But if you
yeah.
have more specifics,
No, I mean, kind of the same thing. So what Greg was saying. So last year we had, we were in Colorado, so everything was sort of outdoors, mountains, and we kind of turned our exhibit hall thematically. Nothing, I mean, it wasn't dramatic, but we had on Monday night a map that kind of helped you like move around. But as we took it back as a team and thought, there's a lot of you guys who are asking us to reimagine what we do in the exhibit hall so that you guys have more meaningful time and what is drawing people back from their hotel rooms or going off to lunch or doing something else. And so I think it kind of hit a couple of my colleagues at the same time. What if we did something similar each day, sort of an activation map or treasure map or something really fun? And then we're still working on those details, admittedly. We have a lot of pokes in the fire, as you guys can well imagine. So we'll think of some fun things and activations, some ways of promoting it. But it'll be a map and maybe some digital bit components and some little gifty things and prizes. So we knew that a lot of you guys are also doing things that are not sponsored through L10, which is fine, or having events of your own that you would like to invite people to. And so we really thought this was a way for us to allow you guys to really amplify all the things that you're doing, regardless of how you're booking those things. So if at your booth you're doing a little demonstration, we can put that on there and help drive people to it, because a lot of times they kind of find it by happenstance, and if they never made it to that end of the exhibit hall or weren't there at the time you were doing it. So we're thinking about how do we create sort of a schedule and how map to direct people so that they kind of know where all the opportunities are, so that they don't feel like they've missed out. And we know that you guys have put a lot of work into this, and we want to make sure you don't feel like you've missed out.
Thank you for that. Would they actually get some kind of a stamp saying they came to the booth? They would submit that to you guys, like a passport or a treasure map?
Yeah, we're still working on it. Cven is a really robust tool. It has a lot of neat gamification built in. We hadn't used it in the past couple of years. And yes, last year we did like a map with like little funny, like little animal paw prints. I don't know that we'll do that same thing, but the idea is, yeah, we would have people basically try to collect stickers or stamps or something. We're still working through the logistics, and I think part of it may be um, fleshed out in the near term, and we'll relay that back as well. But we do know that it has to kind of have like a closed loop effect.
Okay.
They do something and they kind of get rewarded or recognized or something happens. So to be determined, but to be determined hopefully pretty soon.
Thank you, Nan.
You got a couple other questions here regarding the PIP. Trish has questions regarding buying extra exhibit hall passes. The number of exhibit hall passes you can purchase is dictated by your space. With PIP, you get one per 10 by 10. You can buy another 10 by 10 by 10. Trisha, in your case, you're a gold, so you get two. You buy two more. After that, they all need to be full. And yes, they are at the PIP discounted rate of $8.95. That is the early bird rate. The Encore, the Freeman and the Encore pages, well, when you start ordering, they will be up. We're waiting on, I red face because I was promised the link for Freeman today, but I didn't get it. So it will be followed up. And when it is there, we'll reach out and you can go ahead and start your ordering. Okay. All right, I think we've got any questions. Again, we literally, after this, we're going to be going right on to an hour of open. So we'll be checking our emails. And the deck will be sent back out to everyone with the recording. So we'll either send you a link to it, or, which is probably better than the actual physical deck, it'll go easier with a link to the recording as well. And those, if it's not by end of day, it'll be first thing tomorrow. Okay. All right. Any other questions? We've got 4 minutes. I said it took an hour and you didn't believe me. There's a lot to go over. We appreciate your patience in this. This is complex, and some of you are new. Some of you have been doing this for a while, but we appreciate all of you, and our team is here for you. So just like the office hours we have next hour, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll get you settled. Looking forward to a great conference. We'll see everybody in Orlando. Cheers.
Thanks all.